What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rhea and Fran giving you that Friday energy on a Friday. It's the first Friday that we are back in the studio. We're happy to be here. We had a good interview on today's episode that we filmed today. Fran, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm a little tired. But I'm good. It's been a good week. Feel like we're getting back into it, back in the swing of things. Feels good. I'm tired. Like, for some reason, I don't know. I've got problems like falling asleep. Like, I've just been staying up so late for no reason. Like, every night I'm getting ready for bed earlier and earlier. I'm like, I'm gonna wash my face now. Like, I'm gonna get into bed, and I get into bed, and I'm doing nothing. Awake.
This isn't even an ad, even though they are an ad on this podcast. You should pop some 3G.
Yeah. No, I actually really do think that would help me. But it's been all week. I've just been staying up too late. But then last night I was cuddled up, ready to go to sleep. But these kids outside, they were for sure, like, you know, young, not young kids, but probably in their 20s, late teens. And they're in their backyard of their apartment, which is like right below my window. And they were blasting music and talking, and it was like 3 people. It wasn't like a lot of people. It was just 3 people, and they were playing all these songs. And at first, I was like, "This is so fucking annoying. Like, am I literally about to call the police?" Like, I was like, "Am I gonna like go down there and like
what is wrong with you?"
It was so late. They deserved a They almost deserved a noise complaint. I was so frustrated. I was like, I can't be the only one that is trying to sleep right now on a Wednesday night.
What time?
Hang out with you if you're gonna
1
do that.
a.m.
All right, I would say 1 a.m. is still acceptable. Anything past like 3,
No.
I'd be like,
on a Wednesday night?
Yeah. You go to bed early. That's the thing. You're not used to like.
But Fran doesn't go to bed.
Here's
the thing, though. Here's where I'm gonna call you out for a second. You've been saying how you've just stay up because you just stay up. You stay up late. 1 a.m. You're not even.
But no,
on another night you just be up at 1 a.m.
I hit the point where like I've been up so late this week that I finally got to where I was like, oh my God, okay, it's like midnight. I feel so exhausted from staying up so late that I actually think I'm going to be able to fall asleep. And then it worked the opposite way. Believe me, it was just very annoying. I normally would never
AirPods? Like, pop some AirPods.
sleep with AirPods.
I've done that before.
I can't. I don't.
That's uncomfortable.
So uncomfortable. Sleeping with headphones. I sleep on my side. I can't sleep with headphones.
I understand you being upset with them, but.
I mean, I clearly didn't do it. I know you
didn't, but the fact that it even crossed your mind.
They were out. It's one thing if you're in your apartment. Like, if you're in your apartment, you're playing music. Like, if it was coming from upstairs, I'd be like, oh, whatever, it's fine. They were outside.
Would you ever, like, yell down?
Against the walls. Outside, even louder.
Would you ever, like, call them out to their face? Be like,
the thing is I don't know where they live.
Yeah, now I like that.
I don't know where they live.
No, scream out the window.
I wouldn't.
I can't open my window because the window is the AC unit window.
Oh
That's
my God.
glued shut. I almost thought about banging on the window, but I don't know if they would have heard. If it really got bad, I would have banged on the window before I did anything.
Before you called the police.
But then they started playing the Fearless Taylor Swift album and the Taylor Swift version, and I was just like, I can't get mad now. I started singing alone in bed and was like, well, this is kind of nice now.
Right.
So,
do you now have a TV in your room?
No.
Oh,
I'm an anti-TV in the bedroom person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So in your new
apartment, no TV in the bedroom.
Whoa.
Weird.
That is crazy.
I watch so much TV already. Like, I need to have one space that doesn't have TV.
But maybe that would prevent you from always falling asleep on the couch watching TV. Like, you would just go in your bed
I wouldn't
and watch
say
TV.
I
Maybe
always
you
fall asleep on the
easier if you have something on. You're just getting
tired. That keeps me up longer because Joe used to always like falling asleep with the TV on. And I hate it. It keeps me up.
I hate it too. I don't leave anything.
I shut it off before I fall asleep.
No, I can't.
I watch a little bit to make me tired.
I have like too much of a TV watching problem. Like, where if I'm in bed watching TV, I will be like, oh, one more episode. Like, and it'll keep playing. Or if a new episode starts, I'm like, oh, I gotta stay awake for this one. Then all of a sudden I'm up to bed. I'm up like every night till 3 a.m. I can't be doing that.
That's quite the self-control, because I feel like somebody who loves TV so much would be like, there has to be a TV in the bedroom.
No.
So
on the nights when I'm like, ooh, I want to watch something in bed, I just watch on my iPad. I don't really care about size of the. I don't care about size of the screen.
What?
Like if you had a TV in your room, like I AirPlay like a podcast. And
Yeah,
have it on a
yeah.
TV,
That's crazy.
One room without all the technology going.
It's different with you because like I have 2 roommates, and if I just don't feel like being near, if I just want to be by myself and watch something, like I can go in my room.
Yeah.
But I guess.
But what about when you and Joe want your space and you want to watch separate things? So that's why I like having a TV in the bedroom.
Well,
I'll
just watch something on my iPad. I like watching TV on my iPad.
All right, if that's what you like, then that's what you like, sweetie.
Like sometimes Joe will catch me. I'll be watching TV in his living room at home on Long Island, watching TV on my iPad, and I'm sitting like in front of the television
Because you maybe a closer experience.
Yeah, it's just comforting. It's just like what I'm used to. I've always done it, so it's just like I just plug my headphones in and watch it. All my apps, it's all right there. It's all organized for me, and I just watch it on my iPad.
The first time I ever watched Entourage straight through, all seasons were on an iPad.
Yeah.
I just sat outside on my swing in my backyard. And
I watched
every
Outer
single-
Banks entirely on my iPad. First viewing.
Oh my God! What?
Well, because I didn't watch it with Joe, and I was at
Okay,
home.
so that's crazy. Big action stuff like that.
No.
Outer Banks.
Well, then
that
you
deserves
have
the
to
big
watch
screen.
Outer Banks in the theater.
Yeah.
Well, I
mean, it would be.
I then
unreal.
rewatched when I
it's the
rewatched it
anniversary, by the
again.
way.
I watched it on the big TV, but the first time I was
It's the anniversary of Outer
because
Banks.
I like also have
Give them the moment.
Happy anniversary, Outer Banks. I like when I'm binging a show, I can take it everywhere with me. Like you know, when
you could
when I
do that.
You could do that anyway. It's all
Anyway,
connected.
even if you did
No,
watch it
but-
on a big TV.
Like if I'm watching on my TV and then I stop and then I go
Onto
No,
your
somewhere
iPad.
else,
No, I
it'll
know, but
be
I'm
the
saying
same
like
time on my phone.
I can watch it on my iPad, start it in one room. I can when I go wash my face, I can keep it playing in the bathroom, and then I
But
can
you
go to the
can do that.
bathroom, and then I can watch it in the kitchen.
Oh, so what you're saying is you don't
carry it around
you don't
with
like
me.
taking breaks.
Yeah.
When you do
Yeah.
other things in the house.
Yeah.
No,
I
but-
just to
you're
keep
bringing
it on
you're
with me.
bringing
do
it
that.
with you to the
Like
bathroom.
what I'll do.
Yeah,
is I'll
but
have
I
something
don't
playing
have
on
to.
the TV.
But then you don't have to stop and start all
You
the
don't have to
different
stop.
TVs.
It's literally as easy as like switch to iPhone and it still plays, no pause, and I'm like walking to the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't AirPlay. I don't have like
Or
Apple
Apple TV.
TV.
All right. Well, anyways, speaking of TV, while we're on the subject, 2 new shows that we love are coming back. The
Yeah.
Hills and Siesta Key.
Yeah.
We got trailers for both of them. They're coming back May 12th.
Yeah.
And we are going to do something exciting around both of those shows. We're going to be heading to LA
Yep.
for the premiere night of that week.
That's
Sounds
all
like we're going.
That's all we'll reveal.
That's all we'll reveal. That sounds like we're going to the big premiere.
No, I
of the
know,
shows.
we're
That's
not,
not the case. But we.
Remember when we went to the premiere for Hunters? And
Oh
all
my
that?
God! Yes,
Honestly, that was so fun.
That was
we
cool.
that was honestly one of our best LA trips.
Yeah, I loved that
Well,
trip.
we've been 3 times, right?
Yeah, we got some good picks out of that trip.
We got great picks. It was like a fast 2 days.
Yeah, it was
It was
awesome.
the last trip we took before
Yeah.
the pandemic hit. It was like, oh my God, right before it. So that
It was
fun.
really cool. 70s theme.
Yeah,
It was cool.
everything was
the
so
whole
fun
thing was
about it.
really cool.
All right, go ahead and
Amazon
pump
Prime,
that up.
if you
But
wanna
we're not. Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah.
But we're not going to a premiere. We are having our own premiere.
Yeah.
And we're going to be in LA that week, which will be super, super fun because
The
first
trailers
off,
look
the
really
trailers
good.
look really good for both shows. The Hills, they got the whole Kristen Cavallari's coming
Which-
back, and they're really playing into it. Brody
really
and
playing-
Audrina, like what?
They're really
we're
playing
back.
it-
We're back.
They're
We're
really
back
playing
in the
into
early
it,
2000s.
but we are. But there's also times when I'm just like, really? Like I just feel like the Kristen Cavallari stuff I can't get behind.
I know,
it feels like a little.
when people are like, "Whoa, she's back," it's like, yeah,
it's
we
like,
know.
of course she is. It's because friggin' Audrina and Heidi like went on her show. They're doing like a little. They're
doing
doing
crisscross.
each other a favor.
Yeah, and then Siesta Key just looks like some
Siesta Key
good
looks so
fucking
good.
drama. That looks
So good.
That looks
Why? I'm dying to know, guys. And for all those Siesta Key people out there who've been paying attention, like, if any of you guys know, slide in my DMs. I've been on the Siesta Key Reddit. I've been trying to find
figure
it
out
out.
why.
To be honest, I could probably just DM Kelsey, and I bet you she
know.
would tell us. But I also feel like that's like a little weird to be like, hey, I'm this obsessed with your life that like, can you tell me why you and Juliet aren't friends anymore? I need to know.
So here's the thing. I need to know as well, and I do like both of them individually. I feel like
Yes.
we both have a good relationship with
Yes.
them.
They're
Kelsey
sweet girls.
just recently commented on my photo the other day.
She's
and
a good IG friend.
She is, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
she's a good IG friend.
Is Kelsey trying to win us
Every
over
time I
before
wanna
the
be-
premiere, before the big fight? I'm just
Kelsey.
kidding, but I do like
why
them
are
both.
you and Juliet not
Right,
friends
so
anymore?
I've been thinking that too. Like, do we hit with a quick DM? I don't know. We'll see what
Dying to
happens.
know.
We're dying to know. But
May 12th.
That's also why we're excited for that reason, but we're also excited because we haven't taken a work trip in so long. It's been literally since 2009. Well, we did one in 2020, but 2019 was like our year of traveling.
Yeah, we did a lot.
So many cool things. We traveled to different places.
Yeah.
We went to Penn State, we went to Colorado, we went to LA. We did like so many cool things in 2019. Other things at Miami, like great things. Haven't done any of that.
I was thinking about that in the shower this morning, actually.
Our 2019
traveling
year.
Yeah, like I was listening to Fearless, and I was listening to Forever and Always, and then I just started thinking about Joe Jonas, which then made me think about how listening to Taylor Swift's this album when it first came out in 2008, like I was thinking of 2008 Fran, thinking about 2019 Fran, like drinking Coors Light with the Jonas Brothers, and just had like had one of those shower moments, it's
awesome
where it was
when
like,
it really
wow, that shit really happened. Like we really did that.
It feels like another life, feels like it didn't happen, but I'm excited because it's another work trip, and I think we're gonna have another one of those moments where we're like,
I hope
it's 2021. What would 2010 Rhea and Fran think about what we're doing tonight? So
I hope.
Hopefully,
fingers crossed,
everything works out. That will be really fun and something for everybody to get excited about.
Yeah, very excited for both of those shows coming back.
So exciting. I love having weekly reality shows to watch. You know what I mean? Like we got Summer House every week. We got the Housewives.
Have you been keeping up with Temptation Island?
I have been watching, but I am so disgusted by some of the actions. Like
disgusted.
I am absolutely that I haven't even been talking about it because I almost hate them too much to even
to the core. If you're watching season 3, I don't know if I've ever hated a reality TV person more than Kendall.
No, he's really terrible.
He's an emotional terrorist, gaslighter. Like I've never seen anything like it.
It's terrible, and I've been watching, but I haven't been able to even express my utter hate for the people on the show right now.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say on TV, reality TV, I really miss Love Island UK like so much. Like I keep forgetting that we've been deprived of Love Island for so long that we haven't gotten a new season. And then I saw an article recently saying that they were getting ready to film for this summer, and I was just like, thank God, I miss Love Island UK so much. Like it feels like, because we haven't gotten it, it feels like Love Island UK just ended. Like it was like, oh, it's over. That it's never coming back. But thank God it's coming back because I miss it so much.
It's time to re-download that via VPN.
I know, seriously. So that app, whatever janky app we use.
We genuinely were watching every day. That was sick. Sick in the head.
We were watching every day. I remember, what was that? There was like some website we were using. I
don't want to blow it up too fast just in case they take it down.
Stopped working towards the end.
Yeah,
so.
You got to make a lot of fake emails to get into that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the topics for today's show. It's a long one, ladies and gentlemen. It's a long one. We got... Colton Underwood has come out as gay on Good Morning America this past week. JLo and ARod have ended their relationship. Yeah. They've ended the engagement. They claim they're still friends, and ARod's being weird on social media.
I'm still I will never not. I'm just
Let's
wait.
I know.
It's just so funny.
And Justin Bieber did an interview with GQ and a whole spread, so we'll dive into that. We also have our guest that we were teasing. He goes by the name of Dale Moss. And now, listen, let's preface all of this. When we said we talk shit about him, we did, right? Yeah. Like we were like, I'm on record as recent as 2 weeks ago saying I don't give a fuck about them. But
correct.
then I but then I quickly was like, wait, I'm starting to care again.
Yeah, you did say that also.
I want that on record as well.
Did you say that publicly though? I hope so.
I think I said it publicly.
You did? Okay.
Where I was like,
because I could vouch, you definitely said it privately.
It's almost reached the point where I am now caring.
Right, they
again.
pulled you back in.
Pulled me back in. And listen, I'll just say this, right? Like when you interview somebody or when we interview somebody, we got to be cordial, right? And I feel like people really, they bank on us to fucking dive in, like really. And we tried. That's all we tried. I think you guys will enjoy it. What, Noah?
Dale is
I think it was a great interview.
I enjoyed it. I liked Dale, but Dale is a smooth operator.
Dale's a politician.
Smooth operator.
Yeah, and we talk about that in the interview.
Yeah,
so that's all. That's all what's the word I'm looking for?
That's all, folks.
No, that's all.
Fine and dandy.
No, oh my God, I'm having such a moment.
Coming up.
That's all.
That's all.
No, not coming up. It's nothing about, that's all brought to light.
Okay. I didn't think that's what you were going to say.
That's not the right.
That certainly wasn't it, but okay.
Whatever. Anyways, so we got that interview with Dale. I think everyone will very much enjoy it. And we'll get a good inside look as to what went on during his season. So let's get into it, starting off with Colton Underwood. All right, Noah mentioned this in the beginning of the podcast when Fran was talking about how she has trouble sleeping, and he was like, pop a 3Chi, that'll help you. 3Chi is the greatest Delta 8 THC brand there is. We absolutely rave about their gummies, which is perfect. It gives you that perfectly buzz feeling, no joke. Like, I know that there's a lot of products where people are like, oh, it'll give you a buzz feeling, but it's not like truly weed. This will give you a buzz feeling, no doubt about it. It's Delta 8 THC, and they are the industry leader in those type of Delta 8 THC products. All products are formulated by a biochemist and made in the USA with USA grown hemp. And to describe Delta 8 THC a little bit more, it's a federally legal version of THC, and it's a more functional alternative to marijuana. So it's available online at 3chi.com. That's the number 3chi.com. And at retailers around the country, you must be 21 to purchase. And you can use code OFFICE at checkout to receive 5% off your order. So use code OFFICE at checkout, 5% off your order. It's 3chi.com. It's the best product you'll find, Delta 8 THC. They got the gummies, they got the oils, they got the anything you can find. They got the products for you. Check it out. You won't regret it. I see people DMing all the time like, what's that product you guys are always talking about? It's 3Chi. Go check it out. Use code OFFICE for 5% off. Yeah, 3chi.com.
So I feel like people think we're saying 3G and it's
3Chi. CHI.
Yeah.
3chi.com. Code OFFICE. So Colton Underwood, past Bachelor, we all know him, came out as gay this week on Good Morning America. He sat down. He said that this is something he has been battling with for a while. He really didn't want to come to his true self. He was trying to pray the gay away in some ways and just was denying this his whole life. And now he is ready to live his life the way that he should.
Yeah. And, there's been rumors about this for a long time, but it's not really, I don't think it's really fair to focus on the, I knew it kind of, that's, I don't think that that's fair.
But at the same time,
I know, but it's speculation about people's sexuality. People do it obviously, but it's we don't need to publicly be like, this was right.
So I was gonna bring that up, right? It's I feel like in your daily life, right? If we were not on a podcast and this was just all nobody, just friends, you and your friends are talking.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a lot of conversations between people and their friends being like, do you guys think
for sure
Colton's gay? But at the same time, you're like, wait, that's kind of messed up.
No, definitely.
But everyone's a little guilty of it.
Yeah. And I think Colton talked about it in his book. We read his book. He said he's battled with this. He had thoughts about it when he was younger. Everybody's talking about the Billy Eichner clip from when he was on Colton's season. It was like, are you going to be the first gay bachelor? And, Billy posted on his Instagram, and it's we're here now. And it did kind of seem like, when GMA posted the teaser of Colton has this big reveal, that's, I think, where everyone's mind went first. So this is great, great news for Colton. We're happy for him to be living his, his true self. This is him. We want to celebrate that. We want to be excited for him starting this new chapter in his life. And hopefully he feels freer and has a clearer mind. But him coming out does not excuse his past behavior. And so it's crazy to me that he went on Good Morning America with Robin Roberts, and Robin didn't once say what went down with the stalking?
Right.
I know she asked about Cassie, did Cassie know? Cassie didn't know. He said he would like to speak with Cassie at some point, but doesn't know if that'll ever happen, probably because they have a terrible relationship with the way it ended. I feel like we're just glossing over the tracking device, the restraining order, the stalking, the crazy text messages to friends and family. Like,
it's all so crazy.
Yeah.
And the fact that it has been ignored is making it worse, right? Like, if he went on Good Morning America, and like you said, I'm really happy for Colton. I can't even imagine what it's like to be living in a body that I don't feel totally comfortable in, that I don't feel comfortable being myself. Like, I can't wrap my head around that, and I feel so terrible for people who have to go through something like that.
Terrible that he's been doing this, battling this for so long.
That's what I'm saying, and he's been battling this his whole life, and there are so many people who go through the same thing that we would never even know, right? Like, if you're not put on a public scale like Colton was, he may have went his whole life hiding this. You know what I mean? It's really sad. So I am truly, truly happy for Colton that this must feel like such a weight lifted off his shoulders. You know, he's still coming to terms with it, but he's probably like, you know, I can breathe. Like, I can be myself. But at the same time, these things that he did to Cassie were really bad. They're really scary. And the fact that they're not addressing everything, like, he really could have came clean about everything, you know? Talk about your sexuality.
Maybe they're saving it for the Netflix documentary.
Maybe that will be in there. But at the same time, I know that he can't help that he did not want to admit he was gay, right? When he was with Cassie. He thought that he was in love with Cassie. He said he was. I do feel bad for Cassie that she did not get a warning about him coming out, even if he can't get to her directly. And I'm sure that, you know, there was a restraining order. So I'm sure that in some way it was maybe hard to reach out to her. But to have it get to her somehow that, hey, I'm coming out, I'm gay, must be very, very hard for her to wrap her head around. She spent a lot of time with him. They had a very serious relationship, a lot of ups and downs.
It's a guy she loved, and now, like,
loved him. They had this relationship. Then the stalking thing, and you're just like, what? This person that I didn't even really know him. It is a lot to take in, and as hard as it is, it's hard for Colton, obviously. Like, that's the person it's hardest for. But for Cassie, that just must be so hard, and I feel really bad for her that now, not only is this, it's being talked about everywhere, obviously, but her name is being thrown in it a lot. Obviously, we're talking about her right now, but now it's the conversation surrounded by Cassie didn't know, and so now she's probably like, oh my God, here we go again. Like, I'm dealing with this again. She just went through that traumatic experience of being stalked and probably was paranoid for a little bit. What happens now?
It's very interesting to see how this all plays out, because like I said, we know that Colton's also filming a Netflix documentary. It's going to be about this journey he's on right now. Gus Kenworthy, he's an Olympian, very, very handsome. He is going to be his apparently quote unquote gay guide, is literally what like the Variety article had said. So
he's just making a documentary about learning how to be gay?
It sort of seems that way. It does sort of. And it's just, look, something about Colton, like, I don't know what it is. This feels all very curated. Like, he's been filming this documentary before the GMA interview. And now to me, this is someone who needs to have his life be private,
right? Like why are you choosing this now that you're just coming out, right? I think in some aspects you want to help people, right? Like he a lot of people can relate to him, and maybe somebody will hear his story and say, you know what, I now feel comfortable coming out, which is great. But at the same time, you're like, this feels very, like you said, curated.
He's been on so many TV shows that it's like
he's just coming out.
Maybe you should go through this not on TV.
Maybe you should take some time for yourself to figure yourself out, because how are you truly going to figure out yourself and being gay by being told how to act gay by a gay guide?
Right,
like,
and also like having it all be filmed and put out in the world. Like, you're probably thinking about how you're going to come across. Like,
are you ever your true authentic self while being filmed? No,
I don't really think he like knows how to do that at this point.
But it's like he should take the time to just figure it out.
I agree. It's crazy. I just like the ending of the relationship with Cassie just makes me think that there was like such a Because at first, we talked about this with Kelly too. It was like, well, maybe Cassie knew, and Colton was like all aggressive with her because Cassie knew, and maybe Cassie was going to say something or something like that. But it seems like Cassie didn't know, which makes you think like Colton was battling so much in his mind about who he was and trying to hold on to that relationship with Cassie so hard, because it's like, I think, maybe he kept saying to himself, like, this is what I should be doing. Like, I got to make this relationship with Cassie, where it went to the extremes that it did. It's so bad and so hard for Cassie, which is why, if that's the case, like, I don't know for sure. This is just how I'm thinking about it. For him to not express any of that during this interview was crazy to me. It's like, how did you get to this point? Like, how did you get from stalking Cassie to I'm going to tell everyone I'm gay on Good Morning America?
Right. And I feel like stalking Cassie has to be a part of the story of you coming out, because you think to yourself, why was he so fixated on Cassie?
Was that the last straw? Like, was that like the last straw of like, okay, I've lost myself. I need to dig deep.
I think just like on a human level, we're curious on how these things work, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, you understand that this is something he has been on his mind for so long, right? He's had to have known, but didn't really want to know.
Tried to pray the gay away.
And
that's awful.
It's so sad. It is really heartbreaking. Like I said, it's really sad to think about somebody just. It must be so hard, and it must really fuck with your head, which is why I'm not saying like use as an excuse to why you stalked Cassie, but like what made you so fixated on Cassie if you are gay? And I'm not saying that in like a way that's like, why did that? I just want to know, just like curiosity, just to understand it a little bit more.
How he was trying to justify. And maybe this is a recent revelation. He's finally come to terms. He was in denial for so long that now he is thinking this way. But look, we can be happy for Colton that he is doing this, that he has come out, that he is moving on with his life. Like, you can be happy and respect that and be excited for him, because this is a whole new chapter. I hope he feels so much better in his own body, in his own life. But I think we can still be critical of the fact that like we're just glossing over the stalking situation, and now we're putting him on TV again and giving him this spotlight. And when like giving him all this praise, when it's like, yes, 100% you can get the praise for coming out, we're happy for you, but like we can't just pretend that the other stuff didn't happen.
Yeah, we can feel happy for him that he's coming out, but also question him as a person. Yeah. Right? You know what I mean? Like, I think...
Right. Just because he's gay now doesn't mean...
It doesn't excuse everything.
Right. It doesn't mean he's like an amazing human being.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I think that is very important to note. Yeah. So I feel like we said a bunch of times throughout all this, like, so happy, and he must feel so relieved. Yeah. But things need to be addressed that were crazy and bad. Like, it wasn't just a quick little, oh my God, they had a bad breakup and he was sending some text messages.
Cassie suffered so much.
It was pretty dark. Yeah. So extremely. I don't know. I think it also opened up some conversations about having the first gay bachelor, having Colton come back as that. And it's like, I don't want
super down for a gay bachelor. Would love it. Don't want it to be Colton.
Right. Like, bring us a gay bachelor. I think that would be awesome. Yeah. Like, I think that would be so cool. Yeah. But Colton...
And it's the same way we pick bachelors all across the board. We want a bachelorette that's ready for marriage, ready for love, knows what they want. Colton is not there yet.
Right. And now we feel like, oh, we don't want to step on any toes because he's gay. But at the same time, you're like, he fucked up.
Yeah, 100%. And he's not like, I don't think he's in the mindset or ready to be like, yes, cast me as the first gay bachelor and hopefully I find a partner at the end of this. Like,
he said he's never even had an emotional connection with a man yet. So I feel like he needs to explore
that can't be happening on TV.
No, he can't explore having an emotional connection with a man for the first time on TV.
Yeah.
He's got to do that in his own life.
I really hope he doesn't do that on TV.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, because, this Netflix, we're going to get this whole documentary now. Sad news, even though I think we all saw it coming, JLo and ARod officially broken up. We talked about this a month ago when everyone said, they're broken up. And then they said, we're not broken up. And the rumor was that JLo did not want the narrative around her breakup to be that she and her relationship had ended because of Madison LaCroix and the cheating rumors and all these things. Like, she didn't want that to be like the storyline, or how when it makes JLo look bad, for sure. So looks like they waited it out a month, and then they put out a joint statement to the Today Show saying, we're better off as friends, we're breaking up, respect for our families, we have combined our families, and we'll still work together in our business ventures and projects and whatnot, but we're better off as friends. So it was just like, this was coming eventually. It was only a matter of time before they put this out.
Yeah, I feel like they've been broken up for the past month, that they didn't want to address
maybe
it.
Even longer.
ARod not taking it well. ARod's posting Instagram stories with Coldplay playing, where he's going through all the pictures of him and JLo with the picture of Jennifer and Alex engraved in sand for their engagement.
It's the best video I've ever seen.
He's really...
Lights will guide you home.
Yeah. Fix You by Coldplay. And he's sulking, and he's showing a montage of photos of him and JLo.
If you took this video and put it on TikTok and told me a 13-year-old girl made it, I would say
ARod's daughters made this for ARod. I think that ARod is probably devastated because JLo had to be it for him, right? Like, he was like, Jennifer Lopez, my crush for the longest time. We finally made it, but he couldn't keep his fingers to himself, and he had to start texty to Bravo celebrities, and it gets you in trouble. So
texty, follow,
yeah,
just like doing things he probably shouldn't be doing.
Fitness chicks, and that's what ARod likes.
Yeah,
baseball and fitness chicks. Yeah, that's what ARod does.
It's just, so it's sad because it is funny, like, watching the video. It's like, oh my God, he's really panning all these photographs, like you said, ending with the Jennifer and Alex in the sand from when he proposed, and Fix You's playing in the background. But it's like, you did this.
Cinematic masterpiece.
You did this.
What if she's like in the other room? It's like, ARod, come on.
Yeah.
And he tagged her in like a little heart at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, like, is this that amicable of a breakup?
Imagine.
Oh man,
like that.
They have
scene
so many business.
Where, like,
they have
JLo
a lot of
had to,
businesses.
like, ARod has to see in his DMs, like, seen by JLo, and just she doesn't share it.
Doesn't answer. Oh my God, that's hilarious. So true. Yeah, they gotta. You know what? I bet they'll figure it out. They're both all business, and I feel like they will do it for the business purposes.
And I think that JLo has had enough, like, failed relationships. This is so mean. But like, I feel like JLo has had enough failed relationships at this point where it's like
failed engagements.
Yeah,
and marriages.
she knows how to, like, keep business going. She knows how to keep moving.
Nicholas Braun should make another video.
Like,
shooting a shot
JLo.
about JLo.
Yeah, that is a good idea. I've seen some not thoughts, but like people speculating, like, oh, who do they go to next? Who does JLo go to next? And the idea, I think maybe it was on Dumont, maybe it was on something else, of JLo and Ben Affleck getting back together.
I think JLo's past that.
She is
so past it,
but the idea of it.
Wait, did he cheat on her? Or what happened with that?
To be honest, I don't really know.
Like, did that end?
We were too young when Ben Affleck
happened.
and JLo broke up. Their engagement was like, when did their engagement end? Here's a mirror article from the UK. I love the tabloids. I really do. Sometimes they're just so amazing. Ben Affleck waiting in the wings for Jennifer Lopez after split from Alex Rodriguez. The former couple got engaged in 2002 but called it off in 2004. I was 10 years old. Like, I wasn't really paying too much attention to this at that point. I obviously know how iconic of a couple that is. But I'd imagine Ben Affleck in 2002, 2004 is a very different Ben Affleck than what we have now. It's just gone through a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, maybe it is something that they could revisit.
I'm not rooting for that. I'm not at all.
I think you would be if it happened. It's like, oh wow.
Sure,
like,
but
yeah.
I think Ben Affleck needs someone new.
Yeah.
You know, I root for Ben Affleck so hard.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't want him and Jennifer Garner to get.
Oh no, I'd love them to get back together.
I love them together,
but
but
I think
he doesn't he doesn't deserve her.
I think Jen is too sweet, but I also heard she might be a little too uptight. Sometimes the sweetest people I feel like that on the inside are probably like a little uptight.
I refuse to believe it.
No, I'm sure she's very nice, but maybe she couldn't handle bad boy Ben.
It gets to a certain point when your husband is an alcoholic.
No. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Yes.
Listen, no, I'm sure. I don't think that Ben Affleck deserves Jennifer Gardner, but I also think. Listen, I love JLo.
JLo is,
but
JLo is filming this movie now with Lenny Kravitz, right?
Right. I think.
Lenny Kravitz is cool enough.
Yeah, like I think JLo and Lenny Kravitz, I don't think Ben Affleck and JLo are a match anymore.
No. The sun is probably set on that for sure. I mean, the sun set on that in 2004. It's
right.
We're almost done with that. We're almost 20 years later.
We need JLo and P. Diddy to get back together.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? This
is the thing. JLo's had so many iconic relationships that you do think like it would be kind of great if she went back to one of the old ones.
And remember P. Diddy was sliding in there a little bit?
Yeah.
What does he go by now? Sean Combs?
I think
is he P. Diddy or is he Puff Daddy?
I think he's back to P. Diddy.
He's P. Diddy or is he Puff Daddy?
He's P. Diddy.
There's
Puff Daddy,
nobody
but is he, or,
who changed his name more than P. Diddy.
Or is he Diddy?
Oh, I think
he might be just Diddy.
Yeah, it is. It's his Instagram is just Diddy.
Puff was easily the best.
And his bio says
Puff
love.
Daddy is an awesome name.
Yeah, I think as of right now he's just Diddy.
It is just Diddy, but I think P. Diddy is.
Yeah.
P. Diddy or Puff Daddy. Diddy.
Yeah.
Yo, she was with Diddy. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
As for ARod, I don't really know what where ARod goes next. Probably just continue to slide into DMs.
Probably.
All
All the girls right now replying to that sad story that he put up are the ones he's probably DMing with.
The fact that we can't play Fix You to end this segment now is just
so
fucking
sad.
Bullshit.
It's so sad. Can we play covers of songs?
If we get the rights.
Can we play the Kids Bop version?
Yeah.
Kids Bop would sue us.
Come on, Kids Bop.
You guys could sing us out.
No, see, no one wants that.
Nobody wants that.
Like I'm gonna play it in my head, but nobody wants us to do that. So it is what it is. Everybody, press play on "Fix You" by Coldplay, and then come back to the podcast.
And then come back. Right.
I am getting ready to move, which means that I'm packing up cookware. I'm packing up plates. I don't have. I'm not really a cooker to begin with, but knowing that I have all my Daily Harvest products and Daily Harvest foods in the freezer, amazing. I can take it out, ready to go in the morning. I don't have to worry about a cleanup or cooking anything because I get my smoothie, put it all right in the blender, mix it with whatever liquid you choose, and then you can just dump it right back into the cup. You're good to go. Daily Harvest is fantastic. It's a food delivery service. It delivers delicious food, all built on organic fruits and vegetables right to your door. Takes minutes to prepare. I swear, I open the smoothies. I'm shocked every time. The fruit in there is so fresh. You can tell that it was frozen at the best time. Everything stays fresh in your freezer until you're ready to enjoy it. They have smoothies, flatbreads, harvest bowls, soups, grains, like overnight grains. They even have an ice cream now that is delicious. The Daily Harvest never uses preservatives, added sugar, or artificial anything, including their recently launched almond milk, which is made of only almonds and a dash of sea salt. That's it. This is super convenient. So the almond milk, which is spelled MYLK for Daily Harvest, it's great because I got my smoothies, pour that almond milk right in there to make the smoothies. It's delicious. Daily Harvest is also committed to minimizing their environmental impact. They're in the process of transitioning to 100% compostable, recyclable, plant-based, and renewable fiber packaging. Daily Harvest is undeniably delicious, clean food without the prep. I really, really love Daily Harvest, you guys. I get it sent to my apartment all the time. Like I said, the smoothies I'm obsessed with. The flatbreads are so great. And also the Harvest Bowls, like you can, cook up a little piece of chicken or something, throw it in the Harvest Bowl. You have an amazing dinner. Or you just have the Harvest Bowl, whatever you choose. It really is so good. So get started today. Go to dailyharvest.com and enter promo code CHICKS to get $25 off your first box. That's promo code CHICKS for $25 off your first box at dailyharvest.com. That's dailyharvest.com.
Justin Bieber did an interview with a GQ and also did a little spread. He looked great. The pictures were awesome. But he really, I guess, I was going to say dove in, but he didn't really. It was kind of the same stuff that we hear over and over again. He struggled a lot in the past, and Hailey Bieber has helped him through that, as well as Jesus.
I didn't really know where you were going with that.
Jesus and Hailey.
No,
it seems like those are the two biggest themes of his life.
That is what he said.
The whole I read the whole interview. It was Jesus every other word or Hailey every other word, which I very much appreciate the Hailey Bieber love. I feel like their marriage has been great.
But I have a question for
him. Yeah.
Do you think he relies on her too much? Like, do you think it's almost like, do you think Hailey might get to a breaking point where Justin Bieber just like needs her to be his rock? So you're nodding your head no. It needs his
it's got to be the other way around, if anything.
Yeah. But I guess I could also see it as like Hailey loves being that person so much that it like works.
I think that Hailey Bieber loves being that person. Like, I think Hailey Bieber has been in love with Justin Bieber her entire life. Before she knew him, when she met him.
I just saw on her story she shared that picture
from 2015.
Picture,
I don't think there has been anybody else in Hailey Bieber's life that she has liked as much as Justin Bieber.
And then you have him come back and being like, I need you to survive. Like, you're my freaking oxygen.
Literally, you're my oxygen tank. And
that's gotta be a good feeling.
It just so good, right? Like,
but that's like, is it a good feeling or is it too much?
No, I think when he's Justin Bieber, and
I guess,
love him. Think about it, you love him so much.
Justin Bieber was like, "You are my oxygen." I think like, I would just melt.
Take me. I feel like he loves her and she loves him so much that they're gonna make it. Like, these two are gonna make it. I know that sounds crazy.
No, Trent said on the group chat the other day, he was like, am I crazy to think that these two are like really gonna make it?
They're gonna make it. They are.
When you say stuff like this though, that's when they don't. Like,
right, like next week they'll be divorced.
God, my God.
I would be so
knock on wood.
mad.
We can't be doing that.
No, we can't do that. But I think that Jesus and Hailey, obviously these things he has spoken about many times before, have helped him. He struggled with drugs in the past, security guards having to check on his pulse in the middle of the night, make sure he's alive. He thought when he canceled that Purpose tour and everyone was so upset, he just thought, I'm so miserable, I can't do this anymore. He talked about a story when he was a kid and he was going to be on the Today Show and they were in Canada and he hid his passport because he just wanted to hang out with his friends. And he eventually had to be like, I hid my passport. And he ended up going on the Today Show, and from that moment on, he's just done what everybody has wanted him to do. He didn't grow up with family. He only grew up with people of business type executives leading his life.
It's sometimes people, I feel like, forget that he became famous at the age that he did. Like, I just, he's been around for so long and he's still so young that I think people forget that all of this happened to him when he was like 13, 12, 13.
And he's 27 and he's just as famous as he was. He was so famous at that point and is just as famous.
He posted an Instagram with...
I think he peaked. Like, I don't think he's as famous now as he was, like,
but he'll forever be a household name in a way that he's like Michael Jackson.
To be completely honest, I think, and we'll see if he does, but I think he needs to go back on tour. Like, I think he's such a performer and people really forget that. Like, when he was peak, like Believe and Purpose tour, those tours were so fantastic and watching him perform was like so cool that I think that when he goes,
since he canceled that tour.
No.
Wow. That's like,
and remember they had the whole tour set and ready to go for last year, and then for changes, and then the whole thing got canceled.
I'm sure he'll do it.
No, he's going to tour again for sure. Like, I think he's already said that he will, and he has the new album and everything.
He has like 2 albums that he's never toured on.
It'll be good. I'm sure it'll be but I'm saying, like, I think he's got to, when people are seeing him back, like performing in stadiums and doing all those things, it'll just be even more of a reminder, because I just think sometimes people forget.
They forget how good he is, but
Yeah.
I think he'll always be a name, Bieber. Like that's the most one of the most iconic names ever. Like it's crazy to see and for him to, I think, acknowledge how wrong his life was going and how and the direction it was headed and how miserable he is was really admirable, because I feel like a lot of times people are just like pushed into a direction, like we heard in Demi Lovato's documentary where she talked about like her team just always pushing her to go to rehab and doing things that she wasn't ready to do yet, whereas Justin Bieber, it sounds like he genuinely was like, I hate this, like I hate who I am, and changed and worked on it himself, as well as with other people, but it seemed like it came from within.
I've had some really mixed feelings lately about Scooter Braun, because I just like I don't know. It's very hard for me to form my own opinion. Like I'm like, do I agree with Taylor Swift? Like I love Taylor Swift. Like I think that I'm team Taylor Swift in that situation, and with everything that went down with Scooter Braun. But I also, understand some of the business aspects of it. Is it wrong? I think it's wrong. It's wrong. But then like watching the Demi documentary and seeing Scooter in it and seeing him talk about Demi and caring about Demi and knowing like everything he's been through with Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande and like all these, celebrities that have dealt with some real shit and they all love him, that I'm just like, what's a gal to do?
I think Scooter Braun's half a scumbag, half a decent person.
And also maybe he's just an awesome person, the people he likes. And
that's what I'm saying.
To those he doesn't.
He's half a scumbag.
Yeah.
He's also a good person and also a great business person. I think it's important to recognize how good of a business person he is. I think people will discredit that because they think he's a scumbag, but a lot of good business people are scumbags. So I do think he definitely is a scumbag for sure, but he can also be a really helpful figure in these people's lives.
Selfishly,
like Ariana Grande loves him, like he can't be like the
but
worst
Ariana Grande hated him for a little bit.
She
left him and went
back.
back.
Then it's
So I feel like that's why he has both.
Kanye West too. I mean, it's,
wait, he was Kanye's manager.
He worked with. I don't know if he was Kanye's manager, but they worked together.
Yeah. I think it's a whole mixture of things. I think.
What was I gonna say? I think that on the bright side, it did give us all of Taylor remaking all of her albums, which it's like that sucks that because of all that is what got us here, but having it actually happen has been amazing. Like getting this Fearless album has been amazing. It's like what I read to you, Rio, in the tweet last week. The album was like had the most day one streams of any album that's come out on Spotify all year,
and it's old.
Like it's songs we've all heard.
Yeah, it's not even new.
We've all heard. She's gonna continue to do that with every single album she remakes. So it's pretty incredible.
Actually, speaking of music, there have been chicks in the office fans who've been sending me stuff that people think John Mayer is gonna put out something tomorrow, which would be today.
Oh.
He like made
What do you think?
I don't know if it's a
Mayer
Photoshop,
expert?
but I've been getting these things sent. It's a screenshot of his TikTok, and the bio was just weather.
Okay.
Like high of 55 or whatever, and low of something. And then people looked up the weather, and it was like Friday in Los Angeles. That was the weather. Yeah. So I don't know. But hopefully.
Okay. Well, hopefully we're all. Hopefully we're all listening to a new John Mayer song. But no, the article was really good. Justin did say, the first year of marriage was really hard, which I don't think was surprising to anyone. Like they got married in like 3 months, so of course the first year of marriage was going to be hard, and of course there were trust issues. Haley. 3 months is not enough time for Hailey Bieber to be like, yeah, you know what? I completely, totally trust you. You were with Selena Gomez 7 months ago, but you know what? We're good.
Literally a month before they started dating again.
Yeah, right. So it's like, no wonder they had a lot of shit to work out. They were already married.
Right, but that also proves how dedicated Hailey is to Justin Bieber, that she was like, I don't even trust him, but I'm going to marry him because I'm getting locked in.
Yep, totally.
All right, everyone, we are here with a special guest. We said that this was our first in-person guest in over a year. That was a little lie.
White lie. It was a
white lie. It was a
mistake.
We did have Tyler in November, but we don't count that. This is like truly professional.
It's because we just blocked that from our memory.
Well, we were drunk.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We move on from that. We are sober today, unfortunately, but we got a big guest.
Right.
We got Dale Moss in the building.
Hey,
the
thank
Dale
you.
Meister.
The Dale Meister. There it is.
She
like
really
that?
debated whether or not she wanted to call you that, and she did it.
That's a first, but I'll own it. I'll take that.
Great. Love it. Well, welcome
got
to
Trent
the show.
here, too.
Yeah, we got Trent here.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here.
Yep.
Amazing.
And we are very happy to have you here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate y'all having me. It's been so long since being in studio for really anything, and I was excited to get on and just have a conversation. We'll have some fun today.
We're curious how much you know about us.
I'm familiar, but I'm prepared for any and all things.
Okay,
right?
good.
Because we were like, we don't want to jump down his throat, but like also, we got some questions.
Like if you've listened to the show before, then you've heard us talk about you.
Yeah,
correct.
There's I know there will be some questions and everything, but like I said, I was excited to come on, so we'll have some fun with it. And like I'm here, so whatever it is, let's get it.
So we'll start off easy. How you doing? How's life? What's up?
Life is good. Life is good. I have no complaints. I think, especially going into the summer. You look at last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's been so many things going on, but I'm in a very good place. I'm very happy. A lot of great projects and different things like that. And life is good. Health, all the things.
Good. And it's been a hectic year, obviously.
Yep.
You were on The Bachelorette. We all know that. How did you get involved with the show, though? Take us through the process of that.
Yeah. So I was nominated, and I always told myself it was something I would never do. But Tai, who's like a little sister to me here in New York, she's like, I never see you dating anybody. You're never with anybody. And it was true. Like,
really?
I've never, everyone asked me about like the New York dating scene and stuff. And I was like, honestly, I don't really know, because it was never a big thing. I was in long-term relationships. And really, since I came to the city, all I was focused on was really building a foundation and building a life. I mean, this is the toughest city in the world. So, she nominated me, and I was in San Diego in October just visiting family, and I got a call from one of the producers, and they're like, hey, you've been nominated. We'd love to learn more about you. And from there, it was just, I'll just roll with the punches and see what happens, and just went through the baseline process.
Can you clarify what being nominated means?
So she submitted a form basically saying she would love to see me on the show in my journey for love.
Right.
And from there, she shared a little bit of info. I'm sure, the producers, everything, do their background checks on all the things. And from that standpoint, it was a pretty simple process. I know that a lot of people on the show are nominated by somebody close to them. And after they called me, I told her, I was like, all right, I'll at least see the process through. At that time, thinking like, I'm not going to do this. And then you fast forward, I wound up on the show.
And was this before Claire's season, or was this, because I know sometimes sometimes you can apply or be nominated, and then maybe they don't cast you on for someone's season.
Yep.
They'll hold you for a different season.
Yeah, this was well before, and I think it was October when that process started. And everyone's is different, but it's a long process, and they do their vetting to the best of their abilities. So it definitely takes some time, but I didn't make my full decision until really up to the last minute, even though this process started really, really early. And the number one reason for me, I always said that I was going to put my full self out there if I ever did anything like this. And I also wanted to know that whatever I was giving and whatever I was putting out there and sharing, the person who I was sharing that with could receive it and understand it and handle that.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I feel like there was a lot on this season, obviously, that maybe we got a different point of view than you did. And I feel like I want to start off by talking about the guys on the show and your relationship with the guys on the show.
Yeah.
I feel like they almost felt like they were blindsided by you and Claire's relationship. But did you feel that way? Did you feel connected to the guys in the house? Or were you like, I'm only focused on Claire and I can tell that it's just me and Claire versus everybody else?
Yeah, I was very connected with the guys. And if you look at everything now, like we're all so
You guys
close.
are all hanging out.
Literally, like almost every single person.
It's a little weird.
From this, we've got a serious bromance, right?
No, but it's cool to see though, because past seasons you don't see it as much. Like you guys all hang out. the girls from this past season like all hang out together too. And a lot of you guys are in New York. I guess I'm not really used to seeing a lot of Bachelor people in New York. Normally after the show, they go right to LA or they're in Nashville or they're in Denver, like something like that. But so many of you guys are in New York now that it's like everybody's together.
It just so happened. And I honestly think the pandemic is something that really brought us closer together, because from a conversational standpoint and just having empathy for everyone else, we were all going through things that were very, very similar. And the fact that we were in the bubble, there was less time with travel. We spent a lot of time together. And there's a lot of guys here in New York. And I also think the cast was a little bit older, so we've gone through more things. We understand ourselves a lot more, and it's been awesome though. It's been very, very special, and I know that all these guys, like, we'll be connected for life, and we really support and help one another through a lot of different things that are going on behind the scenes, whether that's with family, friends. We still talk a lot about like relationships, because one thing about going through the show, and Chris Harrison said this to all of us, is like, this is going to challenge you, but you're going to grow from this. And if it doesn't work out this time, a lot of times your next relationship or the one after that are going to be the person that you settle down with for the rest of your life. And, a lot of the guys took that to heart, and it's true. You just really think about all these things. But we've got a sick crew. We kick it heavily. We've got some characters.
Sick.
We've got
city boys.
Do they bust your chops a lot about the show and just how everything went down?
All the things, yeah. And the funny thing is, because when you watch it back, right, when you're in the moment, it's a lot different. But when you watch it back, you can really understand what people were going through in that moment. And everyone has cringe moments. I mean, I definitely had quite a few, even going through the fact, social media and how they roast you. And, I've definitely
you were you were filming and then you came back and you were like, the Party City guy.
And I'm like, oh my, and that's one of the things.
The engagement photo guy.
I know. It's
the funny. Superman Halloween costume made for some great tweets, I will say.
Bro, you gotta lean into this.
For sure.
Because this is a funny thing. And while I've done campaigns for some of the top brands and clients in the industry, a lot of people have done those things where you never think they'll see the light of day. It's like you get 5 racks here or something like that, and it's just quick in and out. But I guess you don't plan on being on a reality TV show or something at the forefront. But what I learned, especially with social and digital, the internet is undefeated, and
they'll find anything.
You've got to lean into it. And for the longest, even in the back of my mind, like, that was so cringe to me. But now it's just a funny thing. So I love tacos, Taco Tuesday. Let's go.
Del Taco.
And then once you can get past those things, and if you can have fun with it and make fun of yourself a little bit, it's amazing how that narrative and everything shifts. And everyone's got a little shit,
Yeah. Do you feel like now that you have been put through it, right? Like, everybody's making fun of you for that, everybody's saying whatever it is, that you've almost maybe are a little numb to it because they've said all they could about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm someone who never really consumes like content and media. I definitely like look at it and everything, but I try to be very present. And I also know at the end of the day, like, I've just taken the approach, like, I can't control what people say. And also at the end of the day, it's whatever comes out or has happened, it's just a chapter and a part of your life, Like, I'm blessed at
very
32.
poetic.
No, but I'm blessed at 32 to have experienced and done so many things that most people could only dream about. And I'm not even halfway through with my life. So whatever it is that's come up, I've just embraced it. But you do get fairly numb to it. You're able to tune out a lot of things. And it's a challenge for each and everyone. But I definitely believe being in New York over the course of the last 5 years, having a background in sports and media, definitely helped with at least handling that right away. But yeah, you just gotta brush it off and keep moving forward.
Yeah. I want to go back to being on the show and being in that moment where like you realize that you've only been there for a few weeks, but like this is over.
Yeah.
And they're like did it feel at that time like you were sort of given an ultimatum?
So everyone says that, and I never once felt like that. I never once felt like I was forced or pressured to do anything. And you got to understand, like, going into the show, we had started production and then we stopped. So there's 4+ months. And in my mind, like visualizing things over and over again, at the end of the day, it was going to be Claire and I regardless. And we hadn't even met yet, but I
right, because everyone said that they thought, everyone thought you guys were talking before.
And I prepared and that's one thing, and we talked about this right after the show. We never once spoke. I was like so adamant.
But you followed each other.
I mean, well, didn't even follow each other. I mean, obviously you can look on social media and stuff, but really when I was back home, especially coming back because everything shut down, that was the most time I've been able to spend with my family since high school. And, you know, my sister, my dad were out of work. They were really going through things. So I was so present and focused on family and being there, which I would monitor some of the things. But until I actually really knew we were going back into production, I tried not to do too much of trying to get a preconceived notion, because I don't know, I'm someone who I always say walk by faith and your true energy and spirit will show. I just believed, you know, with all my heart that if it was meant to be, like we would hit it off, we'd have a great connection and a bond. And, you know, you get to the first night and like, that was real, you know, it was a lot to take in, but it was a pretty special moment.
Yeah, and Fran mentioned obviously asking if you felt pressured, ultimatum. Obviously, you said you didn't feel any pressure from the show. They weren't making you feel that way. But do you think there was any sort of subconscious pressure in your mind, being like, if I were to not propose right now, what would America think of me? Yeah, what is everybody going to think, and what is Claire going to think?
Yeah, I honestly didn't feel like that. I'm someone who's I've never been afraid of commitment, and I've said this over and over again for years. You know, I've always wanted to build a family, because growing up in my life, the only thing I ever had was family, and we had such a sound sense of love. And a lot of times in the community we were in growing up, we didn't have anything else because we were pretty isolated. It was, you know, very segregated. When I was younger, like we were poor as shit, but one thing we always had was love, a great sense of family, and that goes throughout all my cousins and everything else. So as I've gotten older, you know, one of the greatest things for me personally is the idea of when I am a father. So I was prepared, and obviously not rushing into anything, but like commitment and giving someone everything I have, like that was not a stretch, right? And it's a short stint that we're on there, but you know, if you have the foundational pieces, you can build that, because also understanding you're working a relationship backwards. And at that stage in the game, it's just a commitment, and you just really work through things. You learn a lot about one another after the fact. But no, I didn't really think about it. Like for me, I was like, if this was 4 or 5 weeks later, or however long the filming went, we were going to be in the same position.
It is interesting how things come off differently when you're watching the show, because you had that sit down with Chris Harrison where he's sort of telling you like what the situation is, and it did feel a little bit like there was some pressure, being like, so what's next? Is there going to be an engagement?
Babies.
All that.
Claire and I have joked around about that so many times.
It's one of my favorite moments ever.
Everyone's like you know, thinking that I'm like so taken off guard, and really in that instance, it's just we were having a conversation, and I was like really focused on like answering the question about our relationship, and I was like, you know, just a pause, but
a little taken off guard though.
But
Come on, Dale.
It's
a little bit.
Sometimes the face is worth 1,000 words.
And not every, like, we understand that you wanted to get engaged and you wanted to be with Claire, but you are allowed to feel a little hesitant, a little scared that, oh my God, I just fell right into this and I'm gonna get married and have babies.
Yeah, well, there's no rush.
It's been 1 month.
Yeah, right. Like you're allowed to feel. You know, you don't have to be the guy that's like, nah, I'm super chill about it. It's like it's a scary thing for anybody. People who have been together for 10+ years, they're like, babies. I don't know.
Yeah, babies. We've laughed about that so many times. I think, you know, we even previously, I think we did a TikTok just like poking fun at it. But, you know, I've always been focused on, you know, building a life and a relationship with my spouse first and foremost, and everything else, you know, will happen in due time. So, but yeah, that's a funny moment, but that's something I've never shied away from, but I don't think you can like really plan or force or rush those things. It's just one of those things that happen naturally.
Yeah. Well, and then obviously we know that, talk us through like then what happened afterwards, because we know you guys broke up, but we still see you guys together all the time. We see your feet on Instagram far too much.
Well, I didn't realize the feet thing is such a big deal, and it's funny.
People know.
Well, because
I got some good looking feet, though.
You're gonna get a wiki feet.
Yeah.
I just say you could start an OnlyFans. Make some money off those feet.
I have some.
already.
Do you have a wiki feet? I'm gonna look
there's
it up.
so
I
many.
don't
Like
wanna
people
freak you
have
out, but I'm
a
looking
foot
up
fetish.
now.
I didn't realize
Oh,
how
man.
many people have a foot fetish.
A lot of people.
So apparently, I have
never
some
post my
good-looking
feet.
feet.
You could make
I
bank
always
if
make
you
sure
made
I have
an
socks on.
OnlyFans for
Yeah,
that.
Well,
I got
I'm
a
big on-
wiki feet.
I'm
I'm
big on-
4.8 out of 5. You do have a.
There you are.
Oh,
Wiki
I have a
feet.
better rating. You're a 4.4.
Whoa!
I'm
I gotta pick this up and start getting more pedicures.
Yeah.
I didn't really catch on to that until really probably like a month ago. Someone sent me a Reddit thing,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I like tweeted out about it. But I guess I show my feet a little bit too much.
There you go, wiki feet.
Oh, see, now I feel special. That's the
There
real
it is.
When you know
accomplishment
What's
you've
here.
made-
wiki feet?
It's when you know
It's
you've made
literally
it.
Wikipedia for people's feet.
Yeah.
Like
No
if you
way.
post
I
your
got-
feet a lot,
I got a wiki
How
feet.
weird
Yeah.
is the internet?
it's
It's
weird.
so
People
weird.
are freaky.
People love it.
People are freaky.
Sure
Rhea's
enough.
on
Oh yeah,
there.
Rhea's on there too.
Great
Hey,
score.
That's
I don't know if I'm on
the
there. I
next
think
thing.
you are.
Once this
You gotta
episode
be.
drops, I got to get a foot pic in front of the kids in the office.
I was gonna
sign.
say, if you don't have an OnlyFans set up for your feet by the time this podcast airs, I think you're making a mistake.
Hey, secure the bag.
mistake.
Secure the bag.
Exactly,
man.
whatever it takes. But take us through that, obviously.
Yeah.
What happened after the show, the breakup, the whole thing on Instagram, and now where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, so there's one thing is, and everyone will say like, oh, they're trying to be so secretive about all these things. I mean, obviously we know that there's pictures of us when we're out and about. And, one thing that, especially as going through this process, we've really focused on just being more private with our stuff as we work to, just build a relationship. And, especially with Claire not here, I'm not going to dive into too many details, but we're in a good place. And I think right now, especially with everybody else, who's wanting to have answers, when we're ready to speak about those things, we definitely will. But just with anything,
Boy,
everyone
I
goes
wish
through
Claire
things.
was sitting right here. I
I
got
know.
those answers.
No, but everyone, goes through things in a relationship. So, but again, we're just taking the time and focusing on one another. And
Do you feel like you're building towards something though? Like I know you guys won't say you're like officially dating, but does it feel like you're moving in a certain direction?
Yeah. Well, Claire and I love each other unconditionally and so much, and that's the truest and realest thing about our relationship.
You're kissing with your mask on, so that's when you know.
Oh, all the mask things.
Yeah. Is the engagement still on?
Like I said, we'll talk about more. We'll talk about more of that when the time is right. And it's nothing to shy away from.
Yeah.
And again, there's nothing to hide with it. But just out of respect, for building a relationship or even just our history, that's something that we'll discuss and we'll share more so together and collectively.
And look, you can see it in the pictures because we joked about the mask thing,
Yeah.
and we were saying you have to really care about the other person. I did not realize, but there have been times my boyfriend and I have done that, and I was now when I saw the pictures, I was like, oh God, that looks so cheesy. But I do feel like it shows that you care a lot about the other person.
Yeah,
It's
it's funny because outside people will always say, oh, this or that, and it's fascinating how when you're in a public relationship, how many people put their hopes and dreams into your success. And I think
or downfall.
Or downfall.
Yeah.
It is true. And I feel like the show definitely almost gamifies and makes people choose sides.
For sure.
To a degree, almost like a fantasy football
Yeah.
type thing.
And we're all guilty of that because when we watch, we're rooting for them. We're not rooting for them. Where's this going?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's easy to forget that. And I feel like it's
just
what
human
you guys
beings
think.
and it's
You're
still
just,
navigating
you guys
a
are
relationship.
actually in this relationship,
Yeah.
and you have so many opinions coming at you at once that it probably confuses the both of you on where you truly lie.
Yeah. Well, I think honestly, everything else on the outside was never an issue, and I think the reason it's some of those things can seep in, but having strong foundational love is the number one thing. And you hear it all the time. People say, people love the idea, but that's the ultimate goal. That's what everyone looks for. And like, that's something that we have, and like we had from the very get-go. And it does, create difficulties being in the spotlight in certain things, because certain things get magnified. Or I've been so fascinated by media because they can get things right, but there's a lot of things they can get wrong. And when they get something wrong in a big major way, like those things can cause issues. And I've talked to a lot of people on previous seasons, and with the relationships, like everyone's a source. It's like, who are these sources?
Right. I was going to say, like, have you been reading articles about your relationship, and it's like sources say Dale feels this, and do you ever think like, is there someone in my life telling these stories to E! News, or are they just kind of...
Yeah, I've got like a really, really close circle. And I'm honestly, like, in general, as much as like a public relationship was out there, like I'm very private with my personal life. That's something that I've just never really paid attention to. But I will say that you have to be strong, you have to be confident, you have to be very, very secure in a relationship, but also with yourself. And I remember, like, I went through it after the breakup, and like the next day just getting flooded with like accusations of like cheating and all this. And like, that's something that never happened. And, that like didn't come from Claire or my side in any capacity. Like, that's something that we never even talked about. I grew up in a house with 4 sisters, the man of the house, only boy. And like, that's something that I've never done like in my life. So that was challenging. But going back to the relationship with the guys, like you talk about getting through that, because anything that comes at your character, especially when you know that you can't control it, is tough to swallow and tough to handle. But the guys picked me up in like so much, like outside of being like, hey, I'm sorry that you're going through this, but just really knowing like the type of person that I am, like family, my community. It was definitely a time for growth. And then also you just learn, like, you just move past it. You stay true to who you are, and all that shit will fade,
Yeah. And you mentioned the cheating accusations. I feel like it was because, the account Dumois, they post a lot of stuff.
Dude, how, I never even knew about this thing. And then it turns out.
Well, to be honest, they really kind of blew up during your season. Yeah. Like, I feel like now they've reached, they're almost at like 1 million followers. But at the beginning, when they had first started, and I remembered first following the account, it was like, I feel very much like around that same time.
Yeah.
So they were getting tips about all different kinds of celebrities, but also getting tips about the show and you guys, and pictures of you at the dinner.
Right, and they were like, Dale is seen with a bunch of models, he's seen with a bunch of girls. And I feel like you just mentioned you grew up with all sisters, so you probably just feel comfortable with hanging out with
Well, some things are like business and business and clients, and like, it's like outside looking in, but like, I
mean, we work with all guys. Like, there are times when we're out to dinner with a table full of 6 guys, and it's just me, or just us.
There, and it's weird.
Like, and if we were at that level, people would be like, "Oh my God, there's Rhea and Fran with a table," but people don't care about that.
But it's like public perception. But whatever the case, it's just something that you just learn and you got to grow with. My relationships, my friendships, like my movements have been the same for the most part since after the show. And I think just the fact that it's a pandemic, obviously there's not much going on. New York was a ghost town.
Yeah.
I'm probably one of the more easily recognized people around.
That's true. Very 6'4", identifiable.
Yeah.
And I'm walking all over the city. But again, it's just something that it's a chance for growth. And I learned a lot from that experience. But again, even now, like my movements and everything, like they don't really shift or change that much.
Is this how you speak all the time? Like so poetically? Like
I don't know.
Because I feel like when we were watching the show, everyone was like, why does Dale always know the perfect thing to say, right? People were like, what is going on with Dale? Why is everything so perfect? And I feel like now sitting here talking to you, everything's so thought out. It's like, do you talk like this all the time?
No, I mean, these answers are just like, I mean, they're right off the rip, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think when you're speaking and these are authentic and real and true things, it's easy for them to come out naturally. So I don't know, like I am who I am. And there's a lot of things on the show where people were like, oh, he's not saying this much. Like I will say, I was so nervous. Someone who like, I always say I don't really get nervous in situations. The first night, the second night, it was like the 3rd episode where I really, really, really started calming down. But I was nervous as hell throughout the entire process. But it's because like I really wanted it, and not looking at it as a competition. Like I felt everything that you would see. Like I felt that with Claire. But I don't know. So this is like who I am pretty much on a day-to-day basis. I clown around. I have a lot of fun. It's.
Who are you said you're close with a lot of the guys. Who do you talk to the most? Like who are your boys?
I definitely Bennett. I love Bennett. Bennett's my guy.
Are you hanging out with Bennett often?
Bennett's my guy.
Bennett came to the office and brought Trent to row.
We're buddies.
Yeah, Bennett's the real deal. We talk a lot. Ed, who's down in Miami. I've grown a relationship with Peter and Dustin, who on previous seasons.
Bachelors in
Man,
the City.
I can literally
you're gonna be on Bachelors in the City.
Bachelors in the City. I guess I'll hop on the podcast. I'm always down to support the guys. But it's such a great mix and a great crew. I talk with everyone. T. Smith, who's down in Austin, Texas. I just literally chopped it up with him yesterday. Granger's playing in South Dakota, so he's my sister gets the VIP meet and greet. But yeah, I'm close with a lot of the guys, and I think one of the cool things is you have this level of relatability and understanding that no one else in the world has, right? So it's easy to go, even if you've never met someone from a previous season, and say, hey, what's up? I'm in the city, or if you're here, and you already have that mutual understanding.
Easy
and
to
respect.
connect.
Yeah.
Any double dates in the future for you and Claire and Tayshia and Zach?
Double dates. I haven't planned any double dates or anything like that.
No party has reached out. Neither party has reached out.
No, no planning on double dates or anything. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. It's just like we got to get her on the schedule. I think she might still be filming right now.
She definitely is.
Yeah,
but I feel like Zach goes back and forth a lot.
Yeah, and I love Zach. Zach's I think it's interesting because
Zach's come on the show
from the start of the show, like we were in the limo together and everything, and like seeing how things worked out for him, but also everything that he's doing with the release. I think it's very, very powerful, and a lot of times people are really hesitant to share their stories and some of the back, and obviously he's very vested in that because of just personal experiences and things, but I commend him. He did 48 miles in 48 hours. I stopped by
80,000.
I stopped by just to say what's up to some of the guys. Joe was there and some other guys, but I have so much respect for him, and he is who he is. He's a great dude. He's consistent, and I'm super happy for him and Tayshia.
I feel like we got some of the most mature guys that have ever been on the show in your season. We really learned a lot about everybody. There was conversations that had never been had before on the show, and I feel like it was a different season in a good way. I think everybody took a little bit out of it. Yeah,
it really was, and I think that goes to show like how the bond with so many of the guys is so strong right now. Like, we talk about everything. We kick it. We get advice from one another on so many things, and it's just a special group.
It is. I enjoy watching them. I like seeing you guys all hang out together.
Fran loves Zach, so
I do love Zach.
Next week.
I'm very excited.
I like one of the things too. Everyone asked me about like previous seasons, because I didn't really know much about the show before. Like, obviously I was familiar with The Bachelor and Bachelorette, but I didn't really like tune into too many of the seasons, just here or there. But like I've heard that a lot, just that we had a really special and mature group, and I think that just goes to show a lot with like the casting crew and everything like that.
How have you felt about the show? Like, this past season there was a lot of issues, controversy. Chris Harrison and everything that happened.
I think if there's one thing, and this is a story for 2020 and also 2021, it's a time for growth in understanding and empathy. A lot of these issues and a lot of the things that came up, it's hard for a lot of people to understand or put themselves in those positions. And, I think the show is doing a great job while Chris and everyone else kind of figures things out. And first and foremost, I'll say, like, I've had nothing but great experiences with Chris, and also I don't know like Matt and Rachel personally that well, but I hope that I wish them nothing but the best, because all those situations are very, very challenging. And it just gives a chance for a lot of growth. And I think more than anything, people have to take a step outside of what they know in their comfort zone and put themselves in other people's positions to really understand the effect that certain words and actions have. And I mean, even like with race and relationships, like I've dealt with that my entire life. I've dealt with, racism, prejudice, racial bias that's been geared towards myself or my family. And it's difficult, but like all those things you can get through or you can get past. It takes time. It really takes openness, and you really have to be selfless and try to put yourself in the other person's shoes and understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, definitely. And also, like you mentioned, like allowing people to grow. I feel like that's a thing that sometimes the audience or the people looking in, they don't let anybody like learn from anything. It's
this is life.
Done, and
it's life, and we go through it.
What are they going to do if they don't learn from it? They have to learn from it and grow from it. So
and that's you have to go through different things, and when you come out on the other side and you look back, it's like, damn, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Because when you're in some of these situations, like, it fucking sucks.
It seems like the world is ending.
It sucks.
Seems like it, but then you realize, I hate to say it like a news cycle because it is your lives, but it's like, it's almost like everything moves so quick that when you think everything's surrounded on you, the next day they're moving on to something else. But now you've taken all of the reactions and actions to that and have just like,
and it's hard to let go of those things, because when you're in it, especially with the Bachelor franchise, the amount that comes in, it's a lot to digest, and a lot of people are afraid to speak and make a mistake when certain things happen after the fact. And I don't think that, like, while it's not easy, you still have to be able to, sometimes you'll make another mistake, and that's okay. And just as long as you're moving in the right direction. But yeah, when you're in those situations, it's very, very tough, but coming out the other side, you grow from it. And like I said, I think the franchise is doing a great job with the fact that they're having 2 previous contestants host while they figure these things out, because both of those women have been in the shoes of the contestants. They've been in the shoes of the lead, and they can really empathize, and they can really help support everyone involved. And I think that's going to go a very, very long way, especially for the lead on the show.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's what we thought too.
Do you think that you will be involved in the show going forward? I know you and Claire are in a relationship, and obviously you're not going to be a contestant on the show. Maybe. Yeah, I don't want to say that definitely. But do you see yourself getting involved with the show a little more? Would you like to be involved in other ways?
Yeah, I think, I'm very appreciative and thankful for every experience I've had, both good and bad, with the franchise. I've learned and I've grown a lot from it. And I think previous contestants and people who understand some of the inner workings are vital for the show having success moving forward, and also making it more inclusive, more comfortable for everyone else involved. So, like, without a doubt, I think there's so many positives, while there's a lot of, things that have been circulating as of late. And I think the only way, like, everyone really moves forward is to continue and keep involvement with the right people.
For sure. Trent, you got anything over there? Just I'll put you on the spot quickly, because I want to ask Dale what's going on with his life.
Were you jealous at all watching the last season at Nemacolin when you guys had to do it at like 200 degrees at the La Quinta?
No, I wasn't at all. I wasn't at all.
You guys were sweating the whole time.
Oh my, yeah, it was 100, 120.
I forgot how much you guys were sweating. That was so gross.
On record, I think it broke records for one of the hottest summers during the time. But
like hot tubs, like there were like hot tubs.
So
the hot tub's cold. It's like,
no, the hot tubs are hot. So I'm so weird about this stuff. Like, when I was a kid, we had a trampoline, and I'd go out in the middle of the summer and I'd grab a pillow and a cover and I'd take naps on the trampoline. I love heat, right? So that was intense. I'd still sit in the hot tub, but I wasn't prepared for 120. Like, I was going through some heat exhaustion. There were times and I can see it on dates. Like, I was so jittery and stuff, and they did everything to make sure that we were safe. But you're trying to work out. You want to look good and feel good. You're a little bit nervous. But I wouldn't change anything for the world. I've said that over and over again. I loved, where we were at, and I had a lot of fun.
You seem like you had a very positive experience.
Yeah, I did, honestly. And
Tell
I
us
think
one bad moment you had on the show.
Tell us one bad thing, Dale. One bad thing.
One time on the show when you were like, I don't like this.
Oh, man. Well, after I was getting roasted from the guys, you know?
Okay.
Or not, it wasn't after I was getting... Like, the roast was funny to me. I thought it was hilarious. Shout out Bennett.
I forgot about that roast. And then, oh my gosh. And well, okay, so I have a question about that. Obviously, Claire seemed like she was a little offended for you in that moment. Were you offended at all?
I wasn't offended in any way. I enjoyed the roast, and I felt like I understood where the guys were coming from a standpoint. Because, like, you take yourself, like... put yourself in someone else's position. And also, you know, the previous stuff when we're hanging and arguing and everything. And so, like, that's one of those things you forget the camera's there and you're just like shooting the shit and arguing with the guys. But there was no ill will or animosity. But I remember after that, I was like, damn, like, I feel like I kind of let this situation get the best of me. And I felt more so like really bad because I didn't want there to be any like animosity or disrespect with the guys, especially when you're in those situations. Like, I was focused on like spending as much time with Claire as I could, because you don't get that much. And also I was fucking like super excited. You know, I was having a great night, and sometimes when you're in that mode and it's like, I don't want this to end, that's exactly what that was. But I would say that was a low point. And then just even after the fact, I think one of the more difficult things is, while it's easy for you to handle stuff, like anything that was directed at me, like that's something that I could handle, I could brush off. It was really difficult seeing some of the things that Claire was going through, and, you know, trying to be there as much as you possibly can during that process, but also knowing at certain times you can't say a word. And that shit was hard. And, you know, there's a lot of things that she dealt with that, you know, she hasn't spoke about, but it was a difficult thing, and I'll never speak for her on that. But she's a strong woman, and she's really like carried herself throughout that process and come out the other side in an amazing way.
You showed up.
Showed up. It's funny because all these things, like, everyone jokes about them, and at the moment, like, then you watch stuff back and you're like, damn, I do say that. I say that a lot.
I'm sorry, I had to throw
at least once.
But I totally get what you're saying. That's obviously so difficult. And from our point of view, obviously we talk about the show, we commentate about the show, and we have our opinions, but I feel like it's always important to remember that this is real. Like, somebody can be really hurt by the things that people say, and including us.
Yeah, well, 100%. And my perspective is different from a lot of the other guys because, you know, you can have the weight of the world on your shoulders, but then when you're also trying, you know, to support and help carry the weight of the world on someone else's shoulders, it takes a lot of navigating on how to be there for someone while also trying to keep your head above water and afloat. And that's a learning process. And that's, you know, it takes time. And that's why a lot of small things can be enhanced and seem so much bigger and so much worse, because it's not even necessarily like me, like that it's directed at me. It's like, I don't want to see that for someone else. And like, it's like you think with something with family, like you can handle a lot of different things, but if something happens to someone you love and care about, like that shit hurts tenfold.
And I feel like something that's important to remember is when these people are saying things about you guys, is that it's really like a quick thing. Like, they're not sitting there all day long thinking about you guys. It's a passing comment and they move on with their day, but then you guys end up thinking about what that person said 24 hours a day.
And also if you're having thousands of people at you and tag you and do
not
all
just
these
one
things.
person, but thousands of people.
And so in a saying that I heard, and I think this is actually like, you know, really accurate, it kind of spoke to me, is like the people with the cheapest seats yell the loudest. And it's like some of those negative comments and all those things, like those are going to stick out. You could have 100, you know, positive things and you see 2 negative, and those ones stick because it like kind of hurts, it kind of stings. But that's why you got to, you know, just put up barriers. And again, it's just a lot of self-work and really working on understanding like who you are. And at the end of the day, like all that stuff will fade. Your
reality
true self will come out.
Reality TV is hard because we all watch we're watching TV and then everyone assumes they know the person. Like we had Blake Moynes on, and the whole time Blake Moynes was on the show, like we thought they made him seem like this like sexual deviant, like that all he could think about was sex, and he's like this guy. And we had him on. He was awesome. He was great. We loved him. Like now, you know. So it's you always have to remember that. Like I think sometimes the show gives a different
and editing wise too, like there's a lot of stuff that I'm sure was edited out that you guys know happened but nobody else knows.
Well, and there's only so much time and there's so many people, and you know, I think that's one thing that as you get farther along in the show and there's less and less guys, it gives the opportunity for you to them to share more and more about you. You know, I think about when I went on the show, there were so many things like that were limiting beliefs or things that I felt kept me hostage because I never shared them with the world, and I poured my heart out in, you know, interviews and even with the guys, and a lot of those things never were shown on the show. But I think that's also one thing that you need to remember for anyone who's been on the show. Don't ever lose your voice. Don't ever let what happens after the fact or, you know, things with the fans like dampen your light or make you feel like you can't say and be who you are, because that's the beautiful thing. And you tell your story, you can rewrite any narrative, and you just got to stay true to yourself. And I've grown so much from letting go of a lot of things, you know, a lot of things that I was afraid of people to know. Also just understanding that people make mistakes and like, that's life and you can move past it.
Yeah. What's going on in life now? What are you doing? What are you working on? What do you want to tell everyone about?
So life, philanthropy has been a big thing for me, especially since, you know, the tail end of when I was playing in the NFL and since I've come to New York. I'm a global ambassador for Special Olympics, and it's been, what are we, 2021? So it's been like 5 years roughly since I've been involved on a global scale. And that's something that just like really fills my soul. My sister was a Special Olympics athlete, and we're working on preparing for the 2021 Winter Games, just raising awareness on inclusive matters, a lot of funding. It's actually going to be in Russia, so I'm going to Russia.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah, and one thing on a personal scale that I'm starting up is an IG Live series. So I want to talk with impactful individuals and really have elevated conversations, 10 to 15 minutes. And the goal,
I was going to say not a podcast.
Yeah, not a podcast to start, but to really just enhance their voice and their stories. I think some of the most influential people in today's age are storytellers, and the ones who want to elevate and lift other people up. I just had Sarah Jakes Roberts on, who's TD Jakes' daughter, and she just released a book. She's a beautiful soul. I've got some other great guests lined up, and it definitely helps me a lot to challenge myself, maybe to ask certain questions that are going to help me as well. But I think we're in a day and age where people need more substance. People need more impactful stories, and also people need to understand that a lot of these figures that are not always humanized all go through their own shit and their ups and downs. So that's something I'm excited about. Beyond that will elevate into something a little bit more higher production. And once things open up, just really getting back into doing more live events, producing a lot of different things, and just enjoying life overall. So there's a lot of things in the works, and
travel to California.
Sacramento. I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place. I definitely will be going to California.
Do you like your base in New York City though? Do you think you'll ever move out of here?
I know New York's not the end all be all, but I love New York as a city. And I think having to work so hard, because when I came here, I got released from a team. I was like broke as shit, bottom of the barrel, in a place like where my family actually had to help me. And that's never been the case. Since high school, I've paid bills at my house, but I came out here for a modeling gig at the time, which was Nike, not Party City. And I booked like 5 campaigns in a matter of 2 weeks. And it's that New York story. I just never left. And over a period of time have been fortunate enough to build a full-on career and have more success than even when I was playing in the NFL. So that's something that I really hold true. And it's why I have such a passion for New York City. But right now, I know that things are going to be bi-coastal, just with different things coming up. But I just take it every day as it comes.
Yeah, sounds good. Are you still, obviously you're still modeling, but how often are you doing that?
Yeah, so I mean, with the pandemic, a lot of things have
hard,
shifted. A lot of the clients that I've worked with over the years are still clients to this day. And it's been awesome. Like Michelob Ultra is one of our clients that I've worked with for 3+ years. And they've been so awesome because I've actually been able to produce like events with them. I produced a podcast. Well, we teased it. COVID shut it down. I've worked with like Grey Goose very heavily. And the cool thing is like we'll do things for Super Bowl. We'll do things for sporting events, and just having the creative control to help not only them get their messaging out, but they support me in different things. But I've taken a lot of that into my own hands as far as production. Social media and digital allows you to do a lot more, but still producing things for different brands.
Cool. Love to hear it.
Awesome.
Love that you are so positive, and like I just watching the show.
Very positive, but I feel like we didn't get the information we wanted.
No, but
Just
that.
wait.
But I was gonna say that like I mentioned before, watching the show, we were like, this can't be him.
Yeah,
It's like there's gotta be
Yeah.
something else. But sitting here talking to you, you're like, this is it.
No,
You
I mean,
just have
I'm
grown,
human.
You're positive.
I'm positive. That's been the hardest thing during the pandemic. I remember when I came back to New York City, and I felt like this is not what I knew. All my friends were gone.
Yeah.
And for me, someone who's social, and I've been, like environment is everything. I went through a really, really low time, through December, January, February. And it's because I just felt like everything I knew, I had to relearn. And I almost felt, I don't want to say defeated in a stance of like that things weren't going to get better, but I had to be like so patient, and I couldn't control every aspect. I'm so used to having more control in some of these situations, but the pandemic and just things that were going on made it so you had to pivot and reformat. But now, like, I'm so excited for everything that's
Summer's coming up.
everything ahead.
Things are getting better.
This is the best time in New York. Is this these next couple months? When it's not like super hot, but it's like
Dale, I swear to God, if you and Claire go on Good Morning America tomorrow morning, we're gonna have a problem.
tomorrow.
We're gonna have a problem.
There's no GMA tomorrow. Don't worry.
Ria's now threatening the guest.
I'm just saying.
We've reached the point.
I'm just saying.
No
You're
GMA
so
tomorrow.
comfortable
We
now.
like
We've
this
been
so
sitting
much,
here for
but I
40
swear to
minutes,
God.
but I feel comfortable now with Dale, but I swear to God.
Hey, it's like one of those things, right? You can't confirm or deny anything. I think at the end of the day, whatever the case, like we've been through a lot, and whatever the case, it's just about respecting one another, especially as we navigate this time. And that's just what we're doing.
Yeah, like you said, put up barriers.
Yeah, and everything will work out the way it's meant to. So.
Well, Dale, thank you so much for coming and talking to us. This was great. And we're excited to see what you do next.
Yeah,
we're excited to see you on Good Morning America tomorrow. It's gonna be
Okay,
great.
okay,
Congrats.
tomorrow.
And more, maybe more pictures of your feet on Claire's Instagram story. Well, now you never know.
I will.
Wiki feet
I
score
will
up.
be pushing out feet pictures heavily. I didn't know about the wiki feet. So
OnlyFans,
Yeah.
my man. I think you got to do that. I think
honestly, that might go viral.
Yeah, it would. And you know how much money you get when your OnlyFans go viral? Look at all the people who made an
idea.
OnlyFans
Bad
go
Baby
viral.
made $1 million in a day.
$1 million
That's-
in
that
one
could be
day.
you.
That's one thing I've never even contemplated is having
Until
an
now.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, well, and you would only have to show your feet.
All
Only
right.
your feet.
That.
Just think about it.
I'll think about it. I'll think
Dale,
about
thank
it.
you so much for coming
you,
in.
Dale.
We're
Thank
so
you.
excited to have you here. This was awesome. Thank you.
No, I appreciate it.
All right, that wraps up today's episode of Chicks in the Office. We hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the nice weather if it's nice. We love you guys, and we will talk to you on Monday.